You're good.
Fired up, excited, happy new year. If you're fired up and ready for a new year, put an emoji, put a 1, put something in the chat. I want to hear some energy virtually. I'd love to see where you're watching from. So you'd also type in the chats there where people are listening from. But I want to know who is ready. We're going to talk a little bit about Ignite. That's going to be the theme for the year, and we'll kick that off with our kickoff convention here at the end of January, coming up here pretty quick. So I actually want to talk. So people know my story. I was an MLM hater for a lot of years, and when I first got into the industry, I went to my first event, and it was the craziest thing. You know, the music was loud, the lighting like lit up, people like were standing on their seats clapping, people get on stage, everybody's screaming. And I'm pretty conservative, I'm pretty introverted, and the energy in this room was like, oh, I'm like, what a cult, what happened? Like, who are these people? Where did they come from? And honestly, I was a little taken back. I was like, oh wow, like I don't know what I stepped into, but this is scary. This isn't the real world, right? And so I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. In fact, I'm very, very comfortable in one-on-one interactions and even small group interactions. But when I get into large group interactions, I actually get, even to today, super large groups, kind of like it's too much for me. I know I pretend to be an extrovert, but I am kind of naturally an introvert. And it's like so much energy. It's overwhelming. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, right? And then I started building a business, and I started growing a team, and I started going to events. And the exciting thing about events was the team would come, you know, so I've got people in California, and I got people in Colorado, and I got people in neighboring states from where I live, and we'd get together at these events. And it was a reunion. So like now in my family, the Conrads don't get often. You
arrested a suspect in the theft of 4 new RVs from 2 dealerships and found other stolen property involving an SUV, a second trailer.
Go ahead, mute everybody again.
Its values of stolen goods have more than.
Mute all. Let's try that. Okay. So yeah, we get together at funerals and at weddings. And that's kind of sad. In fact, you know, you get together at a funeral and it's kind of fun. It's a family reunion and you get to see cousins and uncles and people that I love and care about. But because we've moved apart, we don't see each other all that often. Well, these events get to become a reunion, and you get to bring your team together. And so for that purpose, I started to enjoy these events as we come together on a periodic basis. And then I started measuring my business by how many people I had at the events. And then I started measuring my business by what percentage of the room I had at the events. And so it was like, first it was like 5%. I'm like, whoa, if you count all the people here and how many of them are mine, that's 5% of the room. Oh, it's 10% of the room. Wow, I have 50% of the room at this event. And then I got to go and see my people get recognized on stage. And that was like the coolest thing, is to see these people walk across the stage and hold up their new banner or their new pin title or whatever it might be. And it became a celebration. And so it was a reunion, it was a celebration, and then it became family. And then what I started to realize over time, as we started doing more and more events around the world, is that there's a very unique culture. There's a very unique situation in direct sales, in that it is a high energy business. It is a recognition business. It is a celebration business. And most people are living quiet lives of desperation. How many people go to work today and everybody's going to clap for them, cheer for them, give them a banner or a recognition or a pin title? When's the last time you went to work and like got a standing ovation? And that happens. at our meetings, at our events, and the energy is kind of like, you know what, suck it in. I want to be so fired up coming out of an event that like, I just can't wait to tell everybody about it. And so there's 3 parts of an event, and then I want to come back to Ignite, and then I want to pass it off to our president, Burt Green, to comment a little bit. And the first one is a pre-promotion. You want to build up to an event. You want to hype it. You want to get people excited about it. You want to get people to the event. You want to get people there as much as possible. That is one part of the event. So if you haven't bought a ticket, go buy your ticket. Go make sure your team's got your ticket. The second part of that pre-promotion is I usually want to go into that event with 1 or 2 new people. My team's there. My followers are there. My family's there. But I usually want 1 or 2 new adoptees. These are people that I'm going to launch out of that event, people that are new blood, new energy, new excitement, that I'm like, look, you got to come to this event with me so that you know what it's about, so you can feel it, touch it, taste it, and then you can come out of that event with energy, knowledge, and it's going to save you 6 to 12 months of trying to figure this out on your own. And so I usually want 1 or 2 people at the event that I'm with almost 24/7. Like I'm walking with them, sitting with them. I'm introducing them to my team, introducing them to the owners. I'm introducing them to the people. So there's the pre-event, then there's the event itself. And at that event, I want my 1 or 2 future superstars sitting with me at my table when I go to dinner, in my car when I'm going here or there. I'm going to make sure that they are VIPs and they're taken care of so that they're not overwhelmed by the shock of the event. I want to absorb the energy of the event. I want my team to absorb the energy of the event. So the event itself is soak it in. Go to as much as you can. Get your team together as often as you can. If your team is 3 people, then spend time with those 3 people and then go meet other leaders and other uplines and other teams. Then coming out of that event, I want to launch. I want to take all that energy. I want to be calling people, and I want everybody on my team calling people saying, hey, I just got back from the event and this is what I saw. We just heard from our owners and this is what we're talking about. This is what makes us different. We just launched. We will be doing a limited time offer out of this event. Oh my gosh, you've got to try this product. And I want everybody on standby, my whole team at the event, at home, wherever they're at, to hear about the product, to hear about the promotion, to buy the product, because it's always a limited time, right? 48 hours or so. Maybe we extend it a day, but man, I want people coming out of that event fired up and ready to go and ready to make purchases and ready to launch their teams. And because it's January, it is kickoff. Now, this is the cool thing about the title, Ignite. For a lot of time early in my career, I was flying around in a private airplane. And what you find about an aircraft is, I can't remember exactly what, it's an absurd amount of the fuel. It's like 80% of the fuel, depending on how long the flight is. It might even be more than that. Smiley could tell us. Actually, Smiley, go ahead and put it in the chat. How much of the fuel gets used on takeoff versus flying from here to there? And it's a huge amount. So Smiley would know because he's a pilot. But 68%. So I exaggerate. But I mean, that's an MLM thing. It's okay. You know, direct sales, e-commerce subscription, 68 round up. It's like 90% of fuel gets used on takeoff. So you just squint a little bit. So 68% of fuel. So that's a real number. Don't listen to me. That was a fake number. But the energy to get a business off the ground is at takeoff. And so I'm looking at all of you saying, I don't know where you are in your business. Some of you are superstars cranking it. I know people here that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars already in a brand new startup company. That's fantastic. I know some of you that are just getting started today and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. You come, that's why we get together and we learn together. And there's some that got a little bit going and then the holidays hit and you're here like January and you're like, oh, everything died. Everybody went to bed. Nobody's alive. Well, first of all, nobody died. They just got busy. So go wake them up, go remind them that there's a business and there's some cool things coming and there's some new products coming and they want to be a part of it and don't let them miss it. So you got to fire people up. You got to get fired up before you fire other people up. Ignite, you got to catch fire, right? Okay, and then the next thing I would do is get into massive action. So the A good thing to do would be to call the people that I've worked with and try to wake them up and get them to the event and get them on the next call and sort of see who's got a heartbeat, wake them up. That's a good thing. That's management mode. Okay, that's okay. A better thing to do would be get fired up yourself and say, this is my year. Declare it. I'm a superstar this year. I'm going to be making six figures. I'm going to be on stage this year. I'm going to the events. I'm going to get fired up. And now I'm taking people with me. And with that kind of attitude, take massive action. You know what I did coming into this year? I put together a monster list of people I'm calling personally. Why? Because I want new energy, new blood, new excitement, new stories. And so I've got all of these people that my master white yellow pad that, you know, just like Burke, I carry a yellow pad just about everywhere I go so I can create a list. And then I would do fire my boss. Who wants to fire their boss? Put a 2 in the comments. Go ahead and add a 2 right now. If you want to, if this is your year, you're declaring this is my year. I'm firing my boss this year. I'm owning my future this year. Then great. Then make a list of people and declare that to those people. I've just joined this company. This is one of the fastest growing companies in the world right now for direct sales. Whether it's your team or not, this company is one of the fastest growing companies in the world right now. And I'm going to be at the top of this company this year. And Darren, I want you to go with me. I don't want to leave you behind. I want you to take a look at it. Can you get on a call tonight with me? If you do it with that kind of certainty, attitude, and energy, Darren will pick up the phone. He will come to your Zoom. He's going to go, what the crud is Lance drinking? I want some of the Kool-Aid. If you do it like, I'm trying this thing. Let me tell you about this fuel thing. No, the fuel thing's cool. The business and the direction and the money that you're going to make by sharing that fuel thing is 10 times cooler than the fuel tablet. Get clear about your goals this year. Get certain about your destination this year and declare that on every call. I'm going to be a superstar by June of this year, and I'm looking to take people with me. Darren, I don't care if you do this or not, but it's big enough, you need to see it. We're changing the way fuel burns. We're cleaning the air. We're making it a greener country, a greener place to live. And oh, by the way, it saves you money. You have nothing to lose except I can help you save money, make your cars last longer, and we can save the planet together. And oh, by the way, you're going to make major bank if you do it with me. This is big enough, you need to look at it. I need you on this call tonight. Darren's going to be on the call. Well, Darren's always on the call. I love you, Darren. So I was looking, I picked a number, I picked a name, I picked Darren right out, and then I started picking on him. It's like, stop picking on me, Lance. It's okay. Ignite means to catch fire. You catch fire by getting into massive action. You catch fire by getting people around you that are in massive action. You catch fire by feeling and soaking in the energy of others and radiating that to others until eventually that fire is so bright within you, you're the fire that people come to fire up. You catch fire at events where you're surrounded by energetic, fired up, excited people. This is an energy business. You need to get more energy in your life. These are some things I would do. A, I would set some big goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, write them down. B, I would check and wake up my team and make sure that, see who's got a heartbeat. C, I would make a new list and I would call and find new people. New blood is the lifeblood. And I'd get into massive action right now because this is launching your business. It is Ignite. I would get into massive action right now because I want to create momentum, and it's hard to get off the ground. It's hard to get a plane off the ground. It's hard to get a business off the ground. Once it's up, it doesn't take as much energy to keep it up. Once you get going and you've got leaders and teams, yeah, no ugly people, Barb. I always say don't sponsor yucky people. We don't have ugly people. We have the best looking team of marketers I've ever seen, promoters I've ever seen. I don't know where they all come from, but all I know is Govee is a good looking group. You guys are outstanding. but don't sponsor yucky people. We want a family. We want people that when we come to the events, we can't wait to hug them and celebrate with them and find out what's been going on in their lives and cheer them on when they go on stage, and they can cheer us on when we go on stage. There is a certain kind of magic to these home-based businesses. And once you embrace the magic, you get a family, you get a support system, you get mentors, you get millionaire mentors that will teach you how to make millions of dollars. You get people that are there for you when things are rough, that people will cheer for you when things are good. That's just stuff you don't get in the real world. And then it becomes this adventure where you're traveling around the world. It might be to Utah in January, but maybe you start to build a team with us and you come with us to the Philippines in March, or maybe you start to get crazy and you come with us to Korea in May. By the way, the Philippines will be a Ignite event. The Korea will be an Ignite event. We're going to be doing Ignite events all year. So everybody here, you're invited to be part of a family. You're invited to be part of a group that loves you, that cheers for you, that is there for you, that wants to motivate you, that wants to fire you up. And we want to see as many of you as often as possible, because it does become a really, relationships that last a lifetime. The energy at the beginning is the hardest because you got to get it off the ground. And to do that, you got to ignite. You got to fire up. You got to catch fire. Like I said, once you catch fire, they will come to you. Even if it's just to see you burn, they're going to gravitate around you and near you, because whatever it is that you're drinking, whatever Kool-Aid you're a part of, they're not getting that in other parts of their lives. They're not getting that from their jobs. They're not getting that from their coworkers. They're just not getting that anywhere else. So Ignite is the motto for this year. We've turned on the switch. This is our kickoff. We are officially pre-launched until the end of January. We are launching Govee, and the whole world's going to hear about us. We're going to go from a small to medium-sized company. We're actually growing very quickly, to a force to be reckoned with in this industry. We will do $100 million in sales. Our goal is to do that this year. And that means we have to 10x, 7x our sales as a company, which means we need to make another 100, 200 superstars this year, and we'd like you to be one of them, and we'd like your friends to be one of them. So with that, Burke, why don't you give us some thoughts on Ignite?
Yeah.
And we'll get this day started.
All right. Well, first of all, I second everything that Lance says, but guys, a couple things about this industry. I've been thinking back, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for 32 years. And when I look at my career, basically, I was one of the founding distributors of a little company called USANA. It's now a multi-billion-dollar company. I was one of the founding distributors of Monavie. It was literally, I was one of the founding 13 of Monavie, one of the founding 5 of USANA. So I've watched companies go from small to big. I have been to the first, I guess it's a convention, but the launch meeting of each one of these companies. The thing that's interesting about this, just as Lance said, when you start looking at your business, you have the opportunity to basically decide what you want to do with Govee, decide what you want to do with this business. Okay. When you come to the Ignite event in Utah, it'll be a relatively small event. We're not going to be in the Delta Center where the Utah Jazz play or anything like that. It'll be a small event. But one of the things that you can say is, you know what, I was there. And I'll just tell you a little story real quick. So when I started to transition out of Monavie, the word kind of got out that I was looking and stuff. And I had a master distributor call me from a fairly large company. And he was excited, and he was going to do this and going to do that. And he was making a gajillion dollars and all this sort of stuff. And he wanted to fly me to a convention. Okay, all right, whatever. I'll go. It was in New Orleans, and the convention was in the Superdome. And so I went down there with a buddy, and New Orleans is cool. You get to go down the French Quarter, all that. It's cool. But we went to this event, and basically this company was probably a 10-year-old company. And we walk into the Superdome, and just as Lance said, the energy was unreal. I mean, it was just like home. I mean, it was awesome, right? But as I stood there and I was looking down, or I was on the ground floor because I had VIP seats. I had ground floor and I was looking around. My buddy was going out of his mind. Oh my gosh, it's the most exciting thing I've ever seen, right? And I'm going, you know what, this deal's done. And I don't mean it's going out of business or anything like that, but for me, just as Lance said, it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people in the room. If they're not in your organization, it doesn't really matter. You can go and be excited and be part of the culture and that sort of thing. So one of the things that happens at these events, I've been to the first convention of multi-billion-dollar companies. When our very first meeting in USANA, we had about 106 people. And that's grown from there to a multi-billion-dollar company. The thing that you have today in January, we've spent the last 7 months basically in a pre-launch. And in our pre-launch, we have absolutely killed it. We have rocked it. And we've got these distribution centers all around the world. This event, it's going to be crazy, but I can tell you there will be probably more international distributors at our Ignite event in Utah than people from the US. It's just the way the world has gone at this point. I mean, we have people from Japan, people from Korea, people from Australia, people from Europe, people from Africa, people from Canada, people from Latin America, all over Latin America, not just Mexico, but all over Latin America are going to be attending this event. Now, one of the things we've literally this last week, we've been putting together the agenda. We've been putting together the theme. We've been putting together, Brandy and I went and met with the event center yesterday to talk about basically the agenda, to talk about the Great Gatsby party. Guys, if you've never been to a Adobe event, they're different. They're like family. We have fun. They're awesome. We had an unbelievable event up in Canada. We had an unbelievable, rewards trip down in Puerto Vallarta. We've had unbelievable events in Poland. Ecuador. Lance and Angel are heading next week to Ecuador. The week after that, I'm heading to Poland. So we are a global company. But here's my point. You have the opportunity in 2023 to walk into a room, and there's going to be a few hundred people. It's not going to be a massive, massive event. But you can look around that room and you say, you know what? Guess what's going to happen in 2023? That room is going to explode. We'll have thousands of people at our event in the Philippines. We'll have thousands of people at our event in Korea. We'll have thousands of people at our events in Japan. We'll have thousands of people at our events in Canada, in Latin America. And you can be part of it. Some of the speakers that we've got coming, they are the world-class speakers. They are the ones that are doing the business in a way that hopefully you want to do, meaning they're making a six-figure income on a monthly basis. They're making a six-figure income on an annual basis. And so you get the opportunity to sit and learn from the individuals that are doing it. It's a different world today in MLM or in this direct sales industry. With social media and with everything else that's going on out there, you have the opportunity to sit in your house, build a global business. Yesterday I was on the phone with Japan, Korea, Australia, Europe, and Africa. That was just in one day. I covered, 5 continents? It's not just countries, but it's literally continents. And I sat at my home right here in my desk, and it was super, super cool to be able to look at that and go that. And that's the biggest thing I would just tell you guys. Get to the event, get your people to the event, just like Lance said. I mean, literally yesterday we're at lunch. Okay, who are we bringing? When I say we, Lance Conrad, Burt Green, who are we bringing to the event to add our new people? And we started talking, and again, I started getting something, we need to call this, and guess what? That'll happen. So we don't ask you to do anything that we aren't doing. And the reason we ask you to do it is because we know the principles of success that it takes to grow this business into a 6-figure, 7-figure income. So with that, I'll just turn it back to you, Lance. Let's have a fantastic weekend. I can tell you, as of about yesterday, the world it woke up. I had kind of a fairly open day yesterday in the morning. By the time about 10 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden, this guy called. That's what happens. It's like a light switch goes off, and it usually takes people about a week to recover from the holidays and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, just like Lance's hat said, it's go time. So get fired up, get ready. 2023 is going to be phenomenal. Back to you, Lance.
Well, you heard it from his mouth. Burke is woke. So I'm not sure that's what he tried to say, but guys, we love you. We're proud of you. This is going to be a huge year. We're going from a fuel tablet company to a marketing company. I think you've seen that over the last 60 days or so with some of our promotions. You're going to see more promotions. We have a whole series of promotions coming out. We're going to have some new permanent products coming out. You're going to see a lot of new things come from Govee this year as we make noise, we shake and bake around the world, around the globe. I'm off to Ecuador for an Ignite event next weekend. Burke is off to Poland for an Ignite event the following weekend. Then we're bringing everybody here to our homes in Utah for the Ignite event at the end of the month. And then I believe we're going to have a Dubai kickoff event. That's new. Philippines in March, Korea in May, and I'm sure there'll be several others along the way. So look forward to seeing you around the world. Govee is global. It's go time. It's time to fire up. And that means you. Love you. Have a great day.